Hey y'all, Bloodwing here, back to bring some grumpiness to your internet. Welcome back to Redneck Radio, the live stream where, along with your news, you get a healthy side helping of beans and fried taters. How's that?
And guess what I've just got, Bloodwing,
What's that?
as the stream started?
Ah,
An ad.
Which brings me to my first order of business. And I'll probably mention this later when there's more people here, but I want to direct your attention to the bottom of the chat screen. See that little dollar symbol? You know what that means? That means your favorite internet redneck has been monetized again.
Hey!
Look at that for the second time.
There you go. I just watched the ad. That's a couple of cents for you.
There you go. There you go.
A hearty congratulations to you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I got a Streamlabs while I was talking there. So let's see what that was.
All right.
And while that's reloading, well,
look at that.
It don't show up.
First super chat.
Uh-oh. We got a super chat from Pumpkin Trucker testing. Well, thank you very much, Pumpkin Trucker, for testing it out for everybody. Circus Zero first. Nope. Pumpkin Trucker beat you. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
And hello to you, Angel. I hope you're well.
Yeah, hello, Angel. But yeah, I wanted to point that out. You know, I was monetized to begin with because the rules used to be different. And when they changed the rules, instead of grandfathering us all in, they snatched it right out of our greedy little fingers.
Yes, they did.
But I got it back.
You got it back. How many streams did it take?
Oh, I don't know. How many have I done now? About a month's worth? Something like that?
I don't know.
And yeah, donations on Streamlabs. Hold on. I hope Streamlabs isn't trolling me here. Okay.
What?
Well, it's not showing anything, and I know there was a donation. Because I've seen it. Oh, you know what it is? I'm not used to having super chats. And it's also cues me in when there's a super chat.
Yes, it does.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's just the old man being stupid.
Never mind.
Yeah, never mind. But yeah. Welcome everybody. Please like and share the stream. You know the drill, because YouTube isn't going to. Super chats are now open, so you can donate that way if you'd like. It's not, and there's other ways. If you don't want YouTube to get part of your money, then you can do Streamlabs, which is a link in my description, and there's also a link to my Patreon. Woo! Owen Harmon. I'm not sure what HUF is, what kind of money that is.
It's Hungarian money.
Hungarian money, but there's 1,000 of those.
So 1,000 huffs.
Get out of my yard. Thank you, Owen. And Angela Muniz, congrats on becoming monetized. Here's $5 so you can buy some beer and a pizza to celebrate. Thank you, Angel. Thank you.
There you go.
Appreciate that. Yeah. Look at that.
A lot of people do prefer to donate via super chat.
Well, it's probably easier. It accepts your debit card, doesn't it? I've never super chatted, so I don't know.
It does. You can use your debit card to do it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. As I've said before, I'd like to do that on my Streamlabs, but they ask for stuff that they have no business asking for. They want my social security number, and no, I'm not giving you that.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah. Lots of good things going on today. Went to the doctor today. Well, to the vascular surgeon.
Yeah.
As those that follow me on Twitter probably saw. I like this guy. I like this. He's Indian or Pakistan or something. They're all the same to me. I don't know.
That's racist.
That's racist. And his last name is Gupta. When I seen the name on him, I'm saying, "Oh Lord, I'm going to walk in. I'm going to say, hi, my name is Dr. Bob. Why are you here today?" That's what I expected.
He's more than like
Duck
Indian,
Dog.
mate.
Thank you, Duck Dog. He says, "Fag." Are you calling me a fag?
I think he is.
How about you meet me about out back? How about that?
I'm smoking a fag.
But I walked in, and yeah, he is. He's Indian or Pakistani or something like that. But he evidently was born here because his American accent is perfect, absolutely perfect. He very personal, very personable, and he didn't beat me up about my smoking. He certainly brought it up. He said it's probably my condition's probably exacerbated by my smoking. But yeah, they're going to do minor surgery, put in a stent in my belly. And all this time they've been telling me the blockage is in my leg, but he says it's in my belly. So yeah, they're going to do that, which will probably be an outpatient deal. And he says, then once we get, and he put me on some medication, blunt thinners, and says I got to take an aspirin a day for the rest of my life and all that stuff. You know, old people things.
Yeah, of course.
But he did bring up the smoking, but he says, and then after we get everything handled and we're sure it's being taken care of, then we'll work on maybe you quitting smoking a little at a time. And I was like, dang, the doctor always beats me over the head. I like this guy. He gets it. It's not easy.
You are going to get yourself a blister pack with all their meds, mate.
Yeah. I don't know. I haven't picked them up yet. My wife's out to get the granddaughters right now, and she's going to drum by the drugstore and pick them up.
Yeah.
If we have the money, because the one medicine, the Lipitrol, I know is extremely expensive. It's like $1 a pill.
Yeah. That is quite expensive.
And yeah, it's pretty expensive. But we're going to get back on it. And we're going to try to get the old blood wing healthy. The other thing is he seemed quite upset that my regular doctors had not referred me sooner. He said, how long ago were you diagnosed with this condition? I said, about 10 years ago. And he goes, what? You've been suffering like this for 10 years and they've not sent you to a surgeon? I said, no. He just clucked his tongue and shook his head. But
disappointing.
Yeah. Oh, thanks, Way to the Twilight, for the subscription. But my alerts are just going off left and right. I don't know how to act. Guys, you're spoiling me. I don't know how to act. I'm not used to all this interaction. I'm just a dumb old redneck.
So hello to you, Britt and Simius of Thebes and Tom of Gold City. I hope you're well today. I'm good. Thank you very much.
And thank you, Blind Girl Gang. Didn't want you to keep checking your Streamlabs for YouTube cancer. Yeah. Thank you very much. So yeah, that's been my day in the nutshell. That, and it's cold as heck here.
Owen Harmon says he managed to get signed off from his job for a week. Nice one, mate. Nice week off for you.
There you go.
Yeah.
Simius says you couldn't give you a generic Lipitor. I'm hoping that's what they're giving me. I'm hoping, because that is somewhat cheaper. And he's given me a 60-day prescription. So yeah, that's a big chunk. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm not looking forward to surgery. And as I've mentioned before, I have a very innate fear of being put to sleep. And he was very clear that they're going to put me to sleep for the procedure. Oh, I do have to go in for a CAT scan next week, which means they'll be injecting me with dyes and taking pictures of my insides.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah.
I had a picture of my insides taken today.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I had a chest x-ray.
Oh. Oh, did you have lungs? Did they spot them?
Well, they didn't immediately like print it off and show me or explain anything to me. They'll be sending that to my doctor, and then I imagine he'll walk and talk me through it.
Oh, hey, Pat. Good to see you, buddy. Thank you, Snubbirth. Have either of you heard of Letterkenny, Canadian Rednecks? The name does ring a bell, but I can't honestly say I know who it is.
I don't know who it is either.
Not real sure. So you had X-rays taken. What did they take that for?
I've been having chest pains and stuff, so they just and a cough for a while now. It's been on and off, so they just want to make sure that I'm all good in the hood and that pericarditis hasn't come back. And they also took some blood from me as well. 3 tubes.
You're too young for this stuff. What are you going to do when you get my age, dude? Are you even going to make it to my age?
Yeah, pick out a casket.
Hey, Kyler, you're right. I'm really not that old. I'm just old comparatively to people that make content in this genre. I'll be 59 in a couple of weeks. So I'm not that old. I figure I got about another 20 years left. And so, yeah, I got time.
Yeah, I figure I can't give you too much shit for being old because I've got old man problems myself. It was funny as well, man, because I sat down, in the little room where they take your blood, and the lady didn't see that she had to take 3 tubes. And yes, I have been staying off the monsters. She was like, "Oh, sorry, we have to go in your other arm now." It's all right though. I don't mind needles, so it's fine. It's fine.
Now that there are quite a bit more people watching the stream, as I said at the top of the stream, want to direct your attention to the bottom of the chat window. That $sign means that your favorite redneck has again been monetized. So, have fun. Yeah.
Yeah, remember, guys, you can donate via Super Chat now, and of course, Streamlabs or via Patreon. And of course, don't forget to like and share the stream.
Lots of way to help out the old man. Lots of ways.
Exactly.
And if you like he said, if you can't afford money, and I certainly understand that because I can't, you can help me out a great deal by liking and sharing the stream. That helps a ton. So yeah.
Carla doesn't believe me about the Monster. I'm not drinking Monster. I have a can of Lilt next to me. Thank you very much.
A can of what?
A can of Lilt.
Lilt. What the heck is Lilt?
Little bits of sunshine in your life.
You know what Lilt is in America?
What?
It's a perm solution to put a perm in your hair.
Well, this is a can. Lilt Zero. It's pineapple and grapefruit fizzy drink. Here, I'll show it on stream. I'll turn my camera on for a second.
Okay. While you're doing that, I got another donation on Streamlabs, so look that up.
Alrighty. I'll let you read that first, and I'll show you. Bear needs to stop smoking as well. I know it's hard though. Don't start your shit.
Yeah, I've got to, but I just bought a huge bag of tobacco, so I'm going to finish that first. I'm sorry, I'm not wasting the money. Thank you, Louise. Like, share, subscribe, and donate, or I will get Bear to sing Baby Shark.
Bloodwing shark, do 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 do. Bloodwing shark.
And something else just came in while I was reading that.
Gave you a super chat.
Oh, okay. Let's get over to the tab. Thank you, Perfectly Faded Delusions. A pound for you and a pound for Bear. Hey.
There you go.
I like them pounds because they're even worth more than $1. That's the only thing that England does better than we do.
This is Lilt, by the way. It's very nice. It's tasty.
Okay.
Yum, yum, yum.
It's just odd to my ears because Lilt is a permanent company. You put a permanent in your hair that store-bought permanent, and it has been for, good God, longer than I've been alive. Data says 11 weeks, no cigarettes for me. Congratulations, Data. That's tough. I know. It's tough.
Blood, when you're reading the Streamlabs donations, where are you reading them on, by the way?
My donations.
on streamlabs.com.
Mm-hmm. Should I be reading them elsewhere?
Britt, did you happen to? Okay, don't worry about it.
I mean, I have the alert window open. I'm just not fast enough to read it. Because, you know, I'm old and slow and don't see very well.
Yeah.
But, yeah, well, enough about me. I guess we can get on with the news. When I chose today's title, I had another story for the same person in mind, but breaking news has now since come in. Oh. And we're going to do a little bit of talking about our favorite mule-toothed Democrat, Miss AOC. You know, you guys are probably starting to think I got a hard on for this girl by now, but it's not that. It's just if she quit being stupid, you know, she's like syphilis. She's the gift that just keeps on giving.
Before we carry on, mate, I need to make sure that you're using the correct thing to read out at Streamlabs.
All right.
Because I think you may have read out someone's real name. So I'm just logging into mine real quick. Okay. So I'm going to show you mine real quick from yesterday or from today even. Have you got this up?
Hold on. Let me get to the right screen. I don't know. Say so. Or well, hold on. I can present it. No, it doesn't look like that. It's looks similar but different.
Okay, you might need to get that up then, mate. If you click your dashboard and then read the donations off of this page rather than whatever you're reading it off. If you go to streamlabs.com, log in and then click dashboard, it should open on this anyway. Then scroll down, and then when you get a donation, rather than reading from the alert or whatever you've been reading from, read it from the list here.
Ah, gotcha.
Yeah, because I think people's real names are coming through to whatever you're using, mate.
Oh, if I've done that, I certainly apologize. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Well, it doesn't appear that I've read anybody's name different than what's showing on this. So, yeah, maybe I haven't read anybody's real name yet. But yeah, thanks, Bear. But and how does this automatically update, or will I have to?
Yeah, it will auto update.
Okay.
So when your alert comes through, rather than reading the alert, read from that page instead, mate.
All right. Okay, so on with the news. On with the geese.
The geese.
Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez's chief of staff accused of hiding more than $1 million in campaign cash.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
Oh, that's naughty.
Yeah. Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez's top aide illegally funneled campaign donations to two companies he owned, according to a complaint filed Monday with the Federal Elections Commission. Saukat Chakrabarti, which is the same guy that was eating the hamburger in the story, I think, that we read the other day.
Yeah.
Not that that means anything. Set up brand new Congress PAC to collect and bundle donations for newbie politicians, including Miss Ocasio-Cortez. No, I'm sorry, Ms. Ocasio-Cortez. He then diverted more than $1 million to two of his companies that did campaign work skirting reporting requirements, said the complaint by the National Legal and Policy Center. These are not minor or technical violations. We are talking about real money here, said Tom Anderson, director of NLPC's Government Integrity Project. In all my years of studying FEC reports, I've never seen a more ambitious operation to circumvent reporting requirements. He added that Ms. Ocasio-Cortez, New York Democrat, has been quite vocal in condemning so-called dark money. Yes, she has. But her own campaign went to great lengths to avoid the sunlight of disclosure. The PAC money went to Mr. Chakrabarty's brand new Congress LLC and brand new campaign LLC entities that, unlike PACs and candidate campaigns, do not have to report or itemize their spending. The Ocasio-Cortez campaign also was paying brand new Congress LLC for strategic consulting. Mr. Chakrabarty, a Silicon Valley tech millionaire who delved into far left politics, was instrumental in Ms. Ocasio-Cortez's long shot win over veteran politician Representative Joseph Crowley, and was rewarded with the chief of staff job in her congressional office. Another FEC complaint filed last week by the Coolidge-Reagan Foundation alleged brand new Congress PAC was involved in a scheme to funnel money to Ms. Ocasio-Cortez's live-in boyfriend, Riley Roberts. At the same time, Mr. Roberts, a 29-year-old web developer, received payments totaling $6,000 as a marketing consultant for the PAC. The Ocasio-Cortez campaign was paying brand new Congress LLP for strategic consulting. Asked about the payments, Ms. Ocasio-Cortez focused on the legal entities handling the cash. He's not on my payroll. They were not working for me, and they are two separate entities here, she told the Washington Times. This is the difference between an LLC and a PAC. The Coolidge-Reagan Foundation, a conservative Washington nonprofit focused on free speech and campaign finance, said it looked like a shell game. The timing and amounts of these transactions, the use of two affiliated entities as intermediaries, the vague and amorphous nature of services Riley ostensibly provided, the magnitude of these transactions compared to both the limited funds the campaign had raised at the time and the total amount of his expenditures, and the romantic relation between Ocasio-Cortez and Riley collectively established reason to believe these transactions may have violated campaign finance law, said the group's complaint.
Oh dear.
Yeah. Now I can't say she's guilty. It's just an allegation at this point, of course, right?
Mm-hmm.
We are innocent until proven guilty in this country.
That is true. That is true.
You know, but it does look bad, especially with all the stuff that she's touted about dark money and all that stuff. Looks, at the very least, it looks hypocritical. And if it does end up to be true, folks, these are major charges. These are felonies.
I was about to say, yeah, I was about to ask you. These, it's a big deal, isn't it?
Like, it is a very big deal.
Like, is that prison time we're talking here?
Yep. Absolutely does. So yeah, that I guess that happened Monday, but I first saw the story today, just about a couple hours ago.
So like, how long could she get if it's true?
Oh my gosh, I haven't looked up the sentences for something like that, but it is a felony. And it is considered a pretty major white collar crime. So yeah, she would probably get to go to one of these so-called club feds, you know, prisons that are for white collar criminals and so forth, but still would have her freedom taken away if found guilty. And if not found guilty, it still looks very hypocritical and looks suspect. So
yeah,
she can
that's a bit naughty. She'll have the media up her ass now even more.
Oh yeah, yeah. Evidently, they must have got a comment from her recently, because when I read it earlier, I think it's been updated. It said that she had no comment. She'd been quiet. But
naughty.
Yeah.
Do you think she did it?
I think that she'd have to be a whole lot dumber than I even think she is to not know it was happening. Now, whether she was actively complicit in it, I don't know. I mean, that's the second time we've read hypocritical things about this chief of staff of hers. And that's probably her out that she's going to take. Well, I didn't know anything about it. You know, he did it.
Yeah, I could see that. You
know, at the very least, he's in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, I mean, he seems to be attracting all the wrong kind of attention towards her at the minute. There was a thing with the burger, which didn't look particularly good. Not a felony though, but still.
Yeah, Goulash Chip says to you, I honestly think she's dumb enough to not know that she was committing a crime. And that's possible. I mean, it hasn't been, what, a year ago, 2 years ago, she was waiting tables and tending bar. You know, she's not a politician. She wasn't trained to be a politician. And we've all seen how completely stupid she can be. The Batman says, I think AOC is stupid enough to wreck her own career. Absolutely. I think it was the last stream I said, you know, a little friendly advice to the liberals that are out there. And if you're a liberal, hey, it's all good. You know, different strokes for different folks. That's what makes the world go round. People aren't all the same. But if you want to have a chance of winning in 2020, you guys need to muzzle this chick and her two fellow freshmen.
Yeah, I know she's already pissed off a great deal of people from her own party as it is alone, you know, and that what the gentleman, what does he do for her exactly? A campaign manager, is it?
Yeah, he was. Now he's I think I already closed the story, but I think it said he was chief of staff now.
So he's her chief of staff, and he's already like caused problems for her as it is.
Yeah.
It's not a good look.
Not a good look at all. And while we are talking about Ms. Cortez, I hate that. I hate that. That word was invented in the 70s during the second wave feminism, you know, because I was around then. Because Miss was, you know, insulting. Because it insinuated that, you know, because we're unmarried. And of course, Ms. has become the same thing now. If people are married, they generally don't use the Ms. interpretation unless they're a rabid feminist, and then they demand on it.
Ugh. Let's go with Mrs. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. It just says you're married. That's it.
Mr. or Mrs. That's just literally lets people know that you're friggin' married.
Yeah.
Retards. Are you back in a minute, mate?
Okay. All right. Next, since we're on Cortez, let's go on with it. The next headline: Ocasio-Cortez questions criticism of Omar. No one seeks this level of reprimand for statements about other groups. Hold on a second. Got to close out an ad that popped up over top of it. All right. Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, Democrat, New York, on Tuesday, questioned the push for some lawmakers to reprimand Representative Ilhan Omar, Democrat, Minnesota, over statements that prompted allegations of anti-Semitism, raising an apparent lack of action over statements regarded as offensive to other minority groups. Ocasio-Cortez issued a series of tweets a day before the House is set to vote on a resolution condemning anti-Semitism in response to Omar's latest comments that pro-Israel advocates are pushing allegiance to a foreign country. One of the things that is hurtful about the extent to which reprimand is sought of Ilhan is that no one seeks this level of reprimand when members make statements about Latinx plus other communities. During the shutdown, a GOP member yelled, "Go back to Puerto Rico," on the floor.
Hey, yeah, I'm not Puerto Rican, okay?
And pictures or it didn't happen, you know. It's not my position to tell people how to feel. Really? If that's the way you really feel, that you sure do it a lot. It's not my position to tell people how to feel or that their hurt is invalid, she continued. But incidents like these do beg the question, where are the resolutions against homophobic statements, for anti-blackness, for xenophobia, for a member saying he'll send Obama home to Kenya? So in other words, one good turn deserves another. AOC, is that what you're saying? That since they can do it, we can do it. It's okay if we do it. You know, that how you combat racism? Is that how you combat all these things that you guys are combating? Is by doing it yourself? That makes it okay.
What is that crazy woman saying now?
She's defending Ilhan Omar, which is the other freshman, the Muslim woman that's been making a lot of anti-Semitic statements. And the House is going to come vote on that thing. They're calling her to task, and rightly so.
So it's okay to be racist because the other side does it from time to time, right?
That's what I'm hearing here. That's her excuse. The latter, the Obama to Kenya statement, the latter appeared to refer to recently resurfaced comments that Representative Mark Meadows, Republican, North Carolina, made while former President Obama was in office. Okay, so you got to go back to Obama administration to find something, huh? Meadows addressed the comments last week, saying there is not a racial bone in my body. And I hate that they continue to make people, just normal, everyday, decent people, have to constantly defend themselves.
It's pretty sad.
I should never have to make the statement, I'm not racist. But they force us to over and over again. Ocasio-Cortez went on to defend Omar, noting that she believed her fellow rookie Democrat demonstrated a willingness to listen and work with impacted communities after she drew allegations of anti-Semitism for comments made last week. Oh, yeah? Then why did she double down? Jesus criminy. Omar has been at the center of controversy in recent weeks over her comments about Israel. She previously came under fire over a since-deleted tweet from 2012 sent during the Gaza war, in which she wrote, Israel has hypnotized the world. May Allah awaken the people and help them see the evil doings of Israel. Hashtag Gaza, hashtag Palestine, hashtag Israel. The Congresswoman was widely criticized last month for suggesting U.S. lawmakers supported Israel because of money from a pro-Israel lobbying group. She later apologized for the comments. However, that was my however, not the articles. Omar reignited controversy when she said at a Washington bookstore forum last week that pro-Israel advocates are pushing allegiance to a foreign country. The comments have drawn bipartisan backlash, but Omar has defended her right to question the U.S.-Israel relationship. You absolutely got the right to defend it. Free speech and all that. Free expression of ideas. But you know what? Along with free speech and free expression of ideas comes you have to be able to take the backlash, because free speech and free expression of ideas does not protect you from backlash, from saying whatever you want to say.
That backlash should only be in the form of verbal backlash, of course.
Yeah. I mean, these people seem to think, and by these people, I mean AOC and Ilhan and their ilk seem to think that they're allowed to say whatever they think, but we're not allowed to criticize it. You know, free speech doesn't extend that far. Only to them. Oh my gosh. You know, as if I didn't think AOC was dumb enough, because she needs to be careful, because if there's anybody that's going to be impeached and kicked out of office quicker than AOC is, it's going to be this Ilhan chick, because she just can't keep her mouth shut. And every time she opens it, something anti-Semitic comes out of it.
Well, she is a Muslim.
Yeah, she is, you know, and I got no problem with that. I got no problem with women being in power, which, by the way, I seen a comment by AOC on Twitter today saying I'm as powerful as a man and it drives some people crazy. Let that sink in for a minute. I don't give a flip that you're a woman. I don't care. I got no problem with powerful women. I've had women bosses I got along with just fine. That's not what's driving people crazy. It's that you're stupider than a box of rocks. Jeez. I got to get off AOC or, you know, my blood pressure was a little bit high at the doctor's office, which is very rare because usually I'm lower than what's normal. But there was absolutely zero parking at the hospital and I had to walk a country mile. And I was a little bit aggravated, so that's probably why. But yeah, if I don't get off this, I'm going to bust a vein.
I think the audience is enjoying it.
Oh, I'm sure they do. They like it when people rant, and I can throw as good a rant as anybody. Trust me. If I really let myself go, and MC's is dumber than a bag of hammers. You got it. You got it. And I don't get how she's so popular with so many people right now because she is incredibly dumb, and it doesn't take it doesn't take an exceptionally intelligent person to see how dumb she is. I seen recently where she was getting into it with the one-time president or one of the founders of Greenpeace, for Pete's sake, over her Green Deal.
So Greenpeace took issue with it, did they?
Oh, yeah. He called her a twit.
Oh, that's amazing.
He literally called her a twit on Twitter because he was telling her, you don't have any clue what you're talking about. All this stuff that you're supporting in your new Green Deal is going to have major consequences and is going to cause more harm than good. And this is Greenpeace, people, you know, save the planet and all that.
The hippies are giving her shit. That's amazing.
Ah. God, she's so stupid. It ought to be illegal. How stupid she is. Yeah, he is no longer with Greenpeace, faceless. That is correct. That's the reason I said former, or I thought I said former. I meant to say former. If I didn't say former, I meant to. A founder of Greenpeace. Yeah.
Meanwhile, I'm sat here trying to get my phone to charge and turn back on again.
Good luck with that.
You piece of shit.
That's what you get for owning Apple products.
All right. Calm down. Friggin' thing won't turn back on. Dead. Been having trouble with the charger now for a couple of weeks, but
isn't that a known issue with those iPhones? I love you too.
Turn back on, you piece of garbage. Fuck's sake. Oh no! I just knocked over my speaker.
Oh, don't do that.
There we go. I've got wires everywhere.
You want to be able to hear my dulcet tones.
That's true. That is true. Right, I've placed it on the floor through a surge protected extension.
Right.
And I'm just hoping that there's a little bit of power getting into it so I can get to the point where it turns back on again.
All right. Well, moving on from AOC. Police arrest 84 after Stephen Clark protest in East Sacramento.
Oh.
And waiting for it to load.
I don't know who that is, but
well, the article will explain it. Sacramento police arrested 84 people Monday night after demonstrators marched through the city's affluent East Sacramento neighborhood to protest the district attorney's decision not to bring criminal charges against the officers who shot and killed Stephen Clark last March, or Stephen Clark, I guess it is. Those arrested included Pastor Les Simmons, a prominent figure in actions around the Clark case, the cause. Other clergy members were also arrested, as were college students who were part of a group that recently held a sit-in and protest that shut down the Arden Fair Mall. At least 3 local reporters were also detained. The march comes 2 days after Sacramento County District Attorney Anne Marie Schubert announced she would not file criminal charges against the 2 police officers who killed Clark, a 22-year-old unarmed black man who was fatally shot after police chased him into his grandmother's backyard. Now that sounds bad, doesn't it?
Mm.
Okay, and that sounds bad. Well, let's read a little further.
Fuck off, Batman.
The police respond. And by the way, guys, when I'm reading articles, I can't see your chat, just so you know.
Well, in that case, the Batman throws £5 saying Irate Bear has a counterfeit iPhone, Bloodwing. It's an apricot.
Ah, is that what it is?
Yeah, but you're not really Batman.
I'm Batman. The march comes 2 days. I read that part. The police response to Monday's march was a stark contrast to last year when officers made only a handful of arrests, despite protesters shutting down Interstate 5 and blocking NBA fans from entering a Sacramento Kings game. People, don't do that. Quit blocking the highways. Mm. And if you do, I hope somebody runs you over. I'm serious. You know, because guess what? That vehicle in America has the right of way on that interstate. You have no business on that interstate. It is for vehicle traffic only. Not even bicycles are allowed on that interstate. And you might block an emergency vehicle. Cost a life. Anyway, while previous demonstrations over Clark's death focused on downtown Sacramento, this was the first to take place in a wealthier, predominantly white part of the city. Starting to get the picture here?
Mm-hmm.
They purposely went out of their way to predominantly white neighborhood, an affluent neighborhood, and held their protest.
Mm-hmm.
Folks, that's racist. Because their implication is that it's because of the white hierarchy, white
who white
that they're not going to bring charges. This affluent neighborhood's got nothing to do with your cause. People, quit shutting down their neighborhood. No wonder there were so many arrests. You start messing around rich people. They got gates around their house and what they're not going to put up with you messing around out. This ain't the hood. They're not going to put up with you messing around out there.
Faithless mentions the previous protest that happened on the highway a little while back. I think I know which one you're talking about.
Yep.
Yeah, I laughed a little bit as well.
We've had protests in other neighborhoods, and this kind of response has not happened. Of course it hasn't. This isn't the hood, said Tanya Faison, the founder of the Sacramento Black Lives Matter chapter. It proves that everything our DA has said, everything our chief has said, and everything our mayor has said was all words. No, you're messing around in somewhere that has nothing to do with what your issue is, and you're shutting down their neighborhood. They're not going to put up with that, and they have every right to call the cops to have you trucked away. Oh, you people. The march began around 6:30 p.m. at a Trader Joe's grocery store on Folsom Boulevard, winding through the Fab 40s section of East Sacramento before making its way back to Trader Joe's around 9 p.m. Many East Sacramento residents said they disapproved of demonstrators targeting the neighborhood, but would not go on record with NPR member station Capital Public Radio. Others were supportive, even joining the march. And I don't blame them for not wanting to go on record on radio, because Black Lives Matter, they've been known for burning a few buildings.
Mm-hmm.
Laura Dunkelberger, who lives blocks away from the grocery store where the march began, said she joined the demonstration after learning about it on social media. Of course, you're going to get some rich liberal idiot that's, yeah. It seems like everyone in this neighborhood is in fear driving off. Well, I don't blame them. I saw this on Twitter and was like, I'm going to come support. Police spokesperson Sergeant Vance Chandler said the arrest took place after a property owner reported that cars in the area had been keyed.
Oh, really?
See, they're trying to make it sound like they didn't do nothing.
So these quote unquote protesters rock up.
Yep.
To this, rich white area.
Yep.
They block up the roads, the highway. They key people's cars.
Yep.
And then wonder why they get shit on by local law enforcement.
Exactly. And this is a rich neighborhood. People, the cars that they're keying probably aren't Ford Escorts.
Oh yeah, they're big ass Mercedes.
Yeah. He says officers gave 10 orders to disperse because of unlawful assembly over a 2-hour period. 10 times he told him to go home.
They're just some belligerent motherfuckers, aren't they?
Yeah. But, they didn't do nothing. Shortly after we started monitoring the group at approximately 7:30 p.m., we established the group was unlawfully assembling by standing in the street. That is, we have the right to assembly, but you don't have the right to block the street to do it.
Is it one of those cities where you need to get a permit to do it?
Probably. Sacramento is, yeah, probably. We also received information that multiple vehicles in the area were vandalized.
Other people's property.
I've got a donation, must be Streamlabs. Pumpkin Trucker. So Becky and Jessica are joining the march. This ain't orange is the new Black Lives Matter.
Ha.
And he ends it with C-U-N-T, but I won't say that word.
I know you won't.
I know you won't.
But you'll say faggot, though, won't you?
I'll absolutely say faggot, because that's what we called them when I was a kid, and we meant nothing by it. That's just the word you used to describe them. They were faggots. Even my mother said faggot, and she'd smack you in the back of the head if you said fart.
I know.
After police ordered demonstrators to disperse, protest organizers began to encourage people to leave. Some did, while others stayed near the grocery store parking lot and eventually moved down 51st Street to a bridge over Highway 50. Chandler said 6 people were arrested near the parking lot. You've been asked over and over and over again to leave, and you're surprised that when you don't leave, you get arrested? And it's terrible? And it proves that all the authorities were just saying words? Come on, people.
There's a bunch of fucking stupid idiots, aren't they?
Yeah. Demonstrators moving onto the bridge were blocked by a line of police officers. Police began detaining and arresting people in small groups, eventually arresting nearly 80 people. I was following the marchers as they crossed the freeway overpass on 51st Street, said Dale Kassler, a reporter for the Sacramento Bee, who was detained and released without being arrested. It became apparent as we got to the other side that there was nowhere to go and that the police had basically sealed everything off. Sounds like they were doing their job.
Do you remember those old 80 cop movies where, they would have the police officers walk through the door and then they show you the station, and the station was always filled to the brim with people cuffed to benches and all sorts?
Yeah.
Like their local police stations must have looked just like that. Just there's so many people.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
That's over 80 belligerent dickheads.
Yeah. And they got to find somewhere to put those people. There were 50, 60, 70 people all just sort of cordoned off into the small area at the south end of the overpass, Kassler said. They just came and started detaining everyone one by one, and I got caught up in that. I can understand that, but they let you go. You proved you were pressed, and they let you go. Also detained or arrested were Scott Rod of the Sacramento Business Journal and William Coburn of the Sacramento State Hornet. They're saying that like it's a bad thing, but they got to arrest everybody until they sort everybody out.
Yeah.
You know? Come on.
Because it's chaos.
Yeah.
You know, that's a lot of people, you know?
The sidewalk was lined with dozens of people who sat with their hands twist-tied behind their backs, waiting to be loaded into vans. Chandler said they were to be transported to an off-site location later identified as Cal Expo, the site of the California State Fair, and processed. They didn't even have enough room in their police department. They had to take them to an exposition hall. From there, they would be either cited or arrested. Despite the large number of arrests compared with previous demonstrations, Chandler said Monday's response did not reflect any change in how the department handles public protests. I don't see any problem with the way they handled it. Honestly, don't. The goal, he said, is for police to make sure we keep our community safe and allow people the opportunity to express themselves in a peaceful manner without causing any harm to people or causing any property damage. Let me say that again. Property damage, none of it. Don't do it. Sacramento Mayor Darrell Steinberg tweeted he was disappointed in how the protest ended, but had questions about what led to the arrest. No matter the reason, an order to disperse was given. No member of the press should be detained for doing their job, Steinberg wrote. The dozens of arrests surprised many of the activists who left after the initial dispersal orders from police. I'm PO'd. I'm angry. I'm frustrated, said Barry Akias, an organizer with Voice of the Youth. I thought everything was cool. We were about to end the protest. We accomplished what we wanted to accomplish and got a phone call 30 or 40 minutes later, and hearing my comrades, some of my friends, Pastor Les Simmons, some of my young people that I was with protesting, shutting down the mall, have been arrested today. And all for what? Well, I'll tell you for what, because they didn't leave when they were told 10 times to leave, and they were destroying property. Isn't that difficult?
This member of the press who's complaining here, well, maybe, mate, you shouldn't have been in the crowd, yeah?
Well, this is NPR, which is National Public Radio, which is decidedly liberal. Clark's death made national headlines and added another layer to an ongoing conversation about the police use of deadly force, particularly against black men. The police shot Clark 7 times, including 3 times in the back, the official autopsy found. Now, that sounds pretty bad, but let's read on. The officers, Terrence Mercadal and Jared Robinette, were responding to a 911 call of a man breaking car windows in the South Sacramento neighborhood of Meadowview. The 2 officers pursued Clark into a backyard, which they later learned was his grandmother's home, and shot him. The officers said they believed Clark had a gun, but police only discovered a cell phone next to his body. So they get a call of somebody breaking windows, and this guy runs. What if you're a police officer, what are you going to think?
Guilty.
Yeah.
If you run.
Exactly.
He's up to no good.
I can't fault them for chasing him. They're probably giving the warning, as they're required to, halt or I'm going to shoot, or something similar. Halt or we're going to fire. He's got a cell phone in his hands, but to their eyes in the dark, it looks like a gun. And I can understand that. They can't take the risk, people. They can't take the risk. If they gave him a break, and thinking it was a gun, he could have turned and fired on them, or shot somebody innocent, or took a hostage.
Yeah, pretty much.
All of these things could have happened. But they're making it sound like it's just terrible.
Standard rules of engagement, really. If you think somebody is a threat to someone else's life, you put them down.
Yeah, because he was shot 7 times, and some of those times in the back, including 3 times in the back. But he was running away. Of course, it was in the back. Jesus, people, You've got to think the whole thing out, look at the whole picture. I remember when I was a very young man in my teen years, the airport used to be within a mile and a half of my house here. They've since moved it in recent years. It's now a county away. But the airport used to be right here. So I seen a lot of the airport police. And if you live in Indianapolis, you knew that the last cops in the world you want to mess with is the airport cops, because they don't give a crap.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Even our airport cops are armed to the teeth.
They don't give a freaking crap. And they stopped a black guy. And there was a big to-do about it. This was in the 70s because they shot him down and he didn't have a gun. Well, guess what they found out he did have? He had an Afro pick in his back pocket and he reached for it.
Yeah.
And they shot him down. And I don't blame them. You're a moron if you reach for your comb while you're being stopped by authorities. Don't move.
Yeah, it's probably a good idea, especially when your police officers have guns, you know?
I'm pretty sure your Afro would have waited a little while to pick it.
I shouldn't laugh really because these are quite serious fucking things, but
they are, and it's a tragedy. I hate that this man died. I'm not saying that, and I'm not saying he had it coming. I don't know for sure if he's the guy that was breaking the windows or not, but it does look bad. But I do understand why they fired on him. I get it.
It's like no, I don't have black people hair. I have mixed race people hair. It's wiry as fuck. It doesn't matter. Like it.
Yeah, my grandson has the same hair. Same hair.
Yeah, like an Afro comb would do nothing to my hair. You need to put a fuck ton of wax in there for it to be able to like move properly or wet it. Like you need police officers with like just amazing reaction times, and that's not going to happen because we're human.
Well, yeah. And, you know, they're going to protect themselves and they're going to protect the public. And if there's any question, they're going to shoot. So you behave accordingly. If they say halt, it's the police, you halt. Because the worst is going to happen, you're going to go to jail. That's better than getting shot.
Yeah. Yeah, faithless RoboCops, yeah.
All right, let me finish this out real quick.
Well, speaking of reaction time blobbing, I don't know whether you saw it on Twitter the other day. There was a video of a police officer and there was a guy walking past him and the guy pulled a gun on him and he just reacted like that, you know, he just grabbed the gun off of him and took him down.
That. Yeah, where he puts his hand up and shoots the guy and somebody come running around the other side of the house and he draws up on him.
I think it was that.
Yeah.
He just snapped the gun out of his hand. It was so quick.
Yeah. Yeah. And good on him. Good job. You know. Let me finish this article, though. I'm almost at the end. Nearly a year after Clark's death, the district attorney's decision not to charge the officers renewed outrage over the case. Yeah, because you're a bunch of didn't do nothings. And that's got nothing to do with the color that you are. This is no matter what you do, you want to claim you didn't do anything. Critics, including Clark's family, also said it was inappropriate for Schubert to publicize the young man's text messages, internet searches, and drafts of emails that were pulled from his cell phone. She presented those records as signs that Clark was troubled. If it had to do with the case, then by all means. Yeah. She used that as a smear campaign or a fake way to justify and condone. No, if they showed that the young man was troubled and had a lot of issues, that's not a smear. That's evidence to the fact that he was dangerous. Clark's mother, oh Lord, it's a black name that I can't pronounce.
Oh no.
Sequette, S-E apostrophe capital Q-U-E-T-T-E. Sequette Clark, I think.
I think we'll go with Sequette.
Told NPR this weekend her officers weren't doing. She never once addressed their actions. She presented and painted a picture of my son that was her opinion. On Monday, the Kings announced, and that's the basketball team, the Kings, announced increased security around the Golden One Center before the night's game, including closing the arena plaza and some downtown commons stores. The Downtown Sacramento Partnership also sent a notice to businesses warning of possible traffic delays and protests. And if a national sports team is cordoning off the immediate area around there, come on, guys. In this country, as I said, and we have the right to peaceful assembly, but that's the key word, peaceful.
Yeah.
Peaceful does not include damaging property. Pay attention, Black Lives Matter. Pay attention, Antifa.
You stand in front of town hall with your picket signs, and you can sing your songs and you can do your chants.
And you do not impede their progress. That is forbidden. You know, pay attention, you idiot kids that laid down in the grocery store to block people getting to their groceries for a gun right.
Would just straight up just run them over with my trolley.
I seen videos of people just stepping over them. Just stepping over them. One person said, "Hey, can you hand me that over there?" They wouldn't pull something like that here because the rednecks around here would say, "Hey, moron, get up or I'm stepping on you." And they would.
Hey, P-Dog, what's going on, man?
What's up with the likes, P-Dog? I don't know. Come on, guys. You're the kings of the ratios. We can get them likes up. We got 99 people watching now. We got 50 likes. Let's go.
Can I get a 1 in the chat if you yourselves found yourself in a situation where you walked into your local supermarket to do your weekly grocery shop, right? And there are a bunch of kids and a bunch of idiots laid out on the floor. Press 1 if you would straight up step on them or run them over with your shopping cart.
Well, I'm not going to press 1, but it would definitely be several ones in a row for me. I don't walk good. I walk with the cane, and I can't lift my feet very high, but I can definitely lift it high enough to step on your gut.
All those ones. Well, my phone turned back on.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
The apple's not rotten yet, after all.
Apparently.
Yeah.
Now I've got to try and get it into a position where it will charge without me having to hold it. Right, come on, you piece of shit. Come on. Come on.
All right.
Just go on charge. Just go on charge. Oh my God.
Smack it. It works for me.
Right. What do they call it? Percussive maintenance?
That's right.
I don't think that's going to work on 21st fucking century technology.
Take a hammer to it.
Oh my God. Fucking charge, you retard. Right. Ah!
MC says he might go back out to put on his old army boots and then come back before he stepped on them. But
okay, we'll have to give it a minute.
Bloodwing would run over them with the shopping scooters. Yeah, mobility scooters. Heck yeah, I would. I'd sit there and keep bumping them until they got out of my way. I can't reach the lettuce. Move.
Yeah, it doesn't matter how many times you say Apple sucks. I still have a phone that I'm going to use. Our phones are expensive, people.
But in all honesty, and all joking aside, people, we've got a right to peaceful assembly in this country, in the United States, but it does not include property damage. That does not include blocking people's progress. You're really not allowed to do that. It does not include screaming in their faces. That's also not supposed to be allowed. Peaceful assembly.
Mm-hmm.
So again, don't act all surprised when you get beat down or arrested.
Yeah, exactly. Just do your chants. What's their friggin' chants again? I forget. What's that one where they go, no Trump, no KKK, no fascist USA. Yeah, you do that shit. Have your friggin' protest signs, you know, have your little friggin' loudspeakers and gob off as much as you want. But don't harass people, don't destroy property, and just, you know, do your thing and then piss off.
Honestly, I think our law enforcement has been pretty lax because they've had a lot of patience in some of these protests that they shouldn't have. Because when they start destroying stuff, when they start screaming in people's faces and talking in bullhorns in their ears and blowing those stupid whistles, it needs to be shut down because that's outside the rules of what you're allowed with peaceful assembly.
Yeah, we do have Android in the UK.
Android's what I use.
I have a contract until May. There's nothing I can do until then.
I go, old man is broke. I go super cheap with Metro PCS is the company. Give them a free plug. And I get an Android cell phone for about $30 a month. And that is unlimited data and does everything that I want it to do.
There you go.
So, yeah. All right. I'm about to go to the bathroom. So if anybody chose an hour and 5 minutes, you are the winner. But before I go, since there are way more people than there was the last 2 times I mentioned it, I want to draw your attention to the bottom of the chat. See that $sign means the old man has been monetized again. And you may now super chat if you so desire, along with the other forms of donation. And donation is not required. I'll still kick you out of my yard anyway. So anyway, I'll be right back. Bear, can you cover the screen?
Of course I can. Of course I can. What's going on, everybody? I hope you're all well on this glorious Tuesday. I think we got, what, 92 people watching, 66 likes. I think we can do better for the old man. And listen up, guys. Bloodwing's now monetized. So let's support the old man with a couple of super chats, yeah? Give him something to be a happy chappy about. He's had a bit of a shit of it the last couple of weeks. Let's cheer him up with a couple of dollars, a couple of quid, maybe even a couple of huffs, you know? We'll see how it's going. And how is everybody in the chat anyway? Android is great, but you have to sell the little remaining soul they don't already own to Google. Oh my God. You know what, Batman? We haven't spoken in a while, and I did not miss you. I did not miss you. 65 minutes, no true winner. Closest was 67. That is true. Vomit GPP Sausage wins today's game. What's up, P-Dog, with a $2 donation just for shits and grins. Roger that. I'll tell Bloodwing when he gets back. Android's like $40 here in the States. Okay. Help him out. He doesn't have long to live. Yeah, I know, right? He's what, got maybe 10 years in him left. Having cold chicken soup. I'd like that as well. It can't be a good day. It's Tuesday. Well, I mean, cold chicken soup out of a can is actually all right. I definitely don't miss you, Zombie Teddy. Definitely don't miss you at all. I see you every time I fucking stream. So I have Republic Wireless, $20 a month, unlimited calls, and 1 gig of data. I'm referring to you, all right, but what are you on about? You're referring to me. Oh, yeah, I probably don't have that long to live. The Batman throws £2. That hurt, irate. I missed you with every shot. Is cider cold apple soup? Well, shit. I think Tom of Golf City may have just blown my mind a little bit there. I don't have much of a life. Yeah, I can tell, mate. I can tell. Oh, 69 likes. I mean, I appreciate the number, guys, but I think we can get higher than that. P-Dog prefers Streamlabs. Yeah, I know. Most, as a creator, we all kind of prefer it because it goes straight through to PayPal and you can get that money immediately. But, you know, Super Chat, people, you know, they a lot of people tend to prefer Super Chat, you know.
Yeah, and, I'll take it. I'll take it.
You've had 2 Super Chats, but I did say thank you on your behalf.
Oh, did you read them out?
Yeah, I did read them out.
Oh, okay.
Well, yeah, 2 quid from the Batman and $2 from P-Dog Knight.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you, guys. I do appreciate it.
Returpin. Hello, Bear. Where's Blood? He's just come back from the toilet.
Yeah, I'm just, you know, we've got to figure out a way to keep track of that one of these days and be able to really announce a winner. You know,
well, the closest, according to the chat, was GPP Vomit Sausage.
Ah,
yes.
Well, for winning today's guess bathroom lottery, for winning today's bathroom lottery, you win an all expense paid vacation to your kitchen. There we go. All right. You know, I was thinking a minute ago, and I'm going to go back to that story for just a minute. then we'll move on. You know, again, I am sorry that that young man was shot to death. Tragedies do happen. I'm not for police brutality, and I'm not for them overstepping their bounds. Tragedies do happen. I remember a few years ago where a mentally challenged youngster was shot to death because he was carrying a toy gun that he had painted black.
Mm.
And that's a tragedy. But you know, that's exactly why. And they started, I don't know about there in the UK, Bear, but here in the States, several years ago, they started doing this. Our toy guns are all very brightly colored. And if they even remotely resemble a real gun, they have a big, bright orange plastic piece that comes out of the barrel of it. You know why that is?
To stop the police shooting kids.
Exactly. Exactly. So yeah, that poor young man's parents should have got involved and said, no, painting your gun black's not a good idea.
Yeah, the parent should have really been, or at least the carer should have been, you know, like, no, that's not a good idea.
Yeah. Hey, Omegon. Good to see you, buddy.
He says no lives matter.
Yeah. Or all lives matter or something. You know, I don't know.
Did you have more news? I think I sent you an article prior to the stream start. I did grab some myself.
Yeah.
If you wanted me to go through any of that, but don't have to. Like, if you want to stick to your news, you're on a roll tonight, Bloodwing.
I am. I'm ranting and ranting. Hold on.
I do enjoy, you know, listening to a good rant, you know.
Oh, I can get going. I'm actually, believe it or not, folks, I'm actually holding myself back because my voice gets very loud when I get very excited. And my voice this is not a joke. I've known to rattle the windows. My voice will make the windows buzz. So,
damn.
Yeah, I'm trying to hold it back a little bit.
Yeah, every few days, Bloodwing, I wake up at like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning with this horrible cough, and it's like it's so dry, you know.
Yeah. Oh, hold on, I just got my prescriptions. Well, that's not too bad. Not too bad. $28 for 2 prescriptions. That's okay. I can live with that. All right. Sorry, Bear. My wife was had my prescriptions here. I'll take them after the stream. I'm not going to do it right now.
Take it right now.
Nope. After the stream.
You know, Bloodwing, when you mentioned the medication to me, I immediately thought back to when I had my first carer job, working in what you would call an elderly village. It wasn't like a village, but it was all like an apartment complex. And the bottom floor had like the bottom floor had hairdressers. It had a gym. It had a chiropodist. It had a dining hall and all that kind of stuff. It was all private care as well.
Yeah, we call those assisted care communities here.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it is. But over here, we call it like an elderly village or whatever. And I remember when I first got trained to give medication, because I'm trained to give medication, by the way, people. And there's this old lady, and she was the most difficult person to wake up ever. I've never come across somebody who just would not get out of bed. She's like 70 something. It was more like she was 17, just so moody, right, in the morning. Big lass as well, you know. And I would go, but when she was finally ready, you know, to sit up in bed, you know, she'd be like, right, go get me fucking meds at me. I'd be like, all right, I'll go get your medication. I used to crack open the blister pack, and she must have had 16, 17, maybe 18 tablets for her morning, like, you know,
sounds like my parents. Yeah,
medical session, if you will.
My parents had to take so much medication. Mom, before she died, took so much medication that she held them in a big giant butter tub. Every day she took that much medicine.
Well, I used to crack the blister pack open into one of them little dicky cup things. And I used to give it to her, you know, and I'd be like, would you like a drink? She'd go, no. And then she'd just pour all of the medication into her mouth and sit there chewing it.
Chewing it?
Yeah,
Oh,
she just chew it all. And I remember looking at the list of drugs that she had to take, and it included a PRN, which is a drug that you don't have to take, but she's in a lot of pain. So it was a painkiller. And for the British people out there, you know what paracetamol is. Paracetamol is
well, opioids don't tend to have the best flavor anyway.
and that was included in there. And she just sit there, just chewing on them.
No, thanks. I'd rather swallow them, get it down. One of the things that I'm having to take is low dose aspirin. He said I need to take that the rest of my life, once a day. But you can get that in a tablet form, or you can get chewables like children's aspirin. And I told my wife, no, just get the ones you swallow with water because I don't want to chew it.
Yeah, makes sense to me. I used to stand there going, oh my God, would you like a cup of water? No. I'd be like, do you want a cup of tea? Yeah, with me toast. But Jesus Christ, man, when I wake up, my mouth is so dry. Well, the first thing I do when I wake up is go and get a drink.
That's why I keep a bottle of Mountain Dew next to my bed. Because I usually chug about half that thing before I'm even out of the bed. Like, give me a drink.
Yeah, I'm just like that. I wake up, the first thing I do is I have a drink, wet my whistle, and then I have a cigarette, and then I wet my whistle again. I couldn't just wake up and just neck 16 tablets and just sit there. Nom, 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 nom.
Okay. While I'm looking through articles, I noticed this one. We've got a new fellow that's entered the Democratic race for president.
A new challenger has appeared.
John Hickenlooper.
Hickenlooper?
Yeah, I guess he's from Colorado. Now, I've heard this, but this is why it makes me laugh. In the 60s and 70s, here locally in Indianapolis, there was a kids show, right? And they showed cartoons, and in those days, they also showed Three Stooges shorts, And there was a lot of pie throwing. It was just a lot of silliness, and they would have like Boy Scout troops and stuff on in the audience, be a small audience of 30 or 40 kids. And one of the people that was the host of it was called K.Y. Curley. He had a cowboy hat on. He played, songs on his guitar. But he had a co-host. The co-host wore very brightly colored clothes with a straw hat with the crown busted out of it so that his head stuck out of the top, right? Always had these silly expressions. And his stage name was Harlow Hickenlooper.
That's a mouthful.
So when I saw that John Hickenlooper's running, I'm like, that is somebody's for real name. All these years I thought it was made up. I don't know anything about him. I just seen the headline and it made me think about it.
There is one piece of news that I was actually hoping to actually read on the stream, if that's all right, mate.
Okay. Hold on just a moment.
Dom O'Leary is correct. Fucking headbutt the like button, guys. Come on. I think we can do better.
Thank you, Pumpkin Trucker, for the donation. Are you kidding? When an old hillbilly like you probably got that order to take an aspirin today and felt happy because you've been storing goodies power for 40 years now. Yeah. No, I do take a lot of ibuprofen. I'm allowed the maximum allowable ibuprofen per day, which is 1,800 milligrams. So
there you go. Hit the like button like Bear hits the energy drinks. I have not had an energy drink in a while.
Yeah,
I can't anymore because they do fuck with my ticker.
Bear is celibate. No energy drinks.
I just have lilt now. But yeah, this is the article that I wanted to read.
Of course, you got lilt, silly. You got lilt in your walk.
I don't appreciate that. This is it's advertised as like a Caribbean drink.
Of course it is.
Fucking lilt in my.
I bet it's fruity too, isn't it?
Well, it has got pineapple and grapefruit in it. You wait until I come to Indiana, old man.
Yeah, you bring it.
Push you down a flight of stairs.
You bring it, British boy.
I'm gonna break that hip. I'm telling you.
So anyway, you said you had something that you had. I know I interrupted you.
Yeah, at least one out of the ones I have managed to grab, mate.
Go ahead.
Terror police investigate explosives near Waterloo Station. I used to go to that train station all the time when traveling back down to Portsmouth to travel back to my ship. Heathrow and London City Airport. Nice bit of terrorism, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
It's been a while. Police received separate reports of suspicious packages at Waterloo train station and Heathrow and London City airports earlier today. This isn't Islam. This isn't Islam's MO. So this makes me wonder whether this is like old school real IRA or someone else.
I thought IRA was pretty much on the QT for the last several years.
They have been. I don't know. Counter-terror police have said 3 suspicious packages found near transport hubs across London. Well, the IRA used to call up people and tell them about this kind of shit before they blew something up, usually. Not all the time, obviously, but I don't know. It does sound like the IRA to me. They wouldn't be Antifa. Antifa hasn't got the brains for that kind of shit. Transport hubs across London where small improvised explosive devices. Officers were called to Waterloo Station, London City Airport, and an office building near Heathrow Airport in separate incidents within hours of each earlier today. 3 A4-sized white postal bags containing yellow jiffy bags were found, the Met Police has now confirmed. Specialist officers have assessed the packages, which were found to be small IEDs. The devices were not sophisticated. It might have been Antifa then. These devices at this early stage of the investigation appear capable of igniting an initially small fire when opened. So they're basically shit. Yeah. Counter-terrorism officers say they are treating the incidents as a linked series, but are keeping an open mind regarding motives. However, Sky's Ireland correspondent Stephen Murphy said police there have confirmed they are assisting in the investigation. The stamps used on at least 2 of the packages were Irish. This is... Yeah, it does sound like the IRA to me.
You know how they knew that they weren't Muslim?
Because there wasn't somebody attached to them?
Well, that and it didn't have the words Allahu Akbar painted on it.
And that, or the little ISIS flag. Police were called to the Compass Centre, an office for Heathrow Airport at 9:55. Officers said the package sent there was opened by staff, causing the device to initiate, which resulted in part of the package burning. So, like, it was really badly made by the sounds of it. The building was evacuated as a precaution, but no one was injured. Police and specialist officers attended and made the device safe, probably just by stamping on it, to be honest. The building remains closed as inquiries continue. The building is not based at Heathrow Airport, and flights have not been affected by this incident. At approximately 12:10 today, police were called to a report of suspicious package. See, the thing is, if this was the IRA,
yeah,
like they've been doing this shit for a long time, right? So
yeah, they know what they're doing.
Yeah, they know what they do. They know how to make bombs.
Yeah,
but it is coming from Ireland, so
yeah, hard to tell. It might be some lone nut job that has some grievance against the government.
Maybe.
You know, who knows? Batman says, and they found a bacon sandwich there too, Irie Bear. Brit Gamer Girl asked a few minutes ago, who is Kevin Logan? He's a potato. That's all you need to know. He's a potato.
I saw him arguing with Dank earlier today, and I just thought, oh, fuck off, mate.
Yeah.
God. Some crappy gotcha, because the news has reported something about Tommy Robinson basically going to Mike Stutchbury's house and confronting him, and it was filmed, so that's technically doxing. You know, and Kevin Logan was like, hey, Dank, look at what your mate Tommy Robinson did. Are you going to condemn it?
Yeah. That sounds like him.
I completely agree with Dankler on this. I don't agree with doxing. I do not condone doxing at all. And I also don't think that we should be going to people's houses and confronting them. And if you are going to do that, don't film it and put it on the internet. Yeah. But if you're a person who advocates for that kind of thing, like Mike Stutchbury does, I don't have sympathy for you.
Toasted Network says, can we all admit that all terrorists are Muslims? No, I can't. Many are these days. Many are, for sure, but not all of them are. I grew up through the 70s, and I've mentioned it before, and it is a historical, provable fact that more people died of domestic terrorism in the United States during the decade of the 70s than have died in the years since by domestic terrorism. And those were not Muslims. Those were lefties.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, they're not all, but yeah, quite a few of them today are. I get it why people automatically want to assume, oh, well, it's a Muslim, you know.
Fuck. Yeah. With the doxing thing, I don't condone it. I don't agree that Tommy should have done that. I really wish that he hadn't, but I also don't have sympathy for Mike Stutchbury either. This is a man who's advocated for this kind of shit before, so I don't have sympathy for him.
Is not okay.
Mm-hmm. It puts people's families at a risk.
That's right.
I agree, Batman. People's private lives should be kept offline.
Yep. Oh, let's see. So. You sent me a story in the side chat in the Hangout earlier. Let's see what that is. Police attempted carjacker runs away after realizing car was a stick shift. I know people like that. Yeah. West Valley City, Utah. Police are looking for a man with a gun who they say attempted to carjack a man in front of his house. It happened Monday at midnight in the area of 6700 West and 3900 South. According to police, the victim said a man approached him in his driveway, pulled out a gun, and jumped in the victim's car. Officials say when the carjacker realized the vehicle was a stick shift, he got out and ran away. West Valley Police and canine officers searched the area but could not find the suspect. The investigation is ongoing. So there you have it, folks. If you don't want to be hardjacked or carjacked, switch to a stick shift.
Drive manual, people.
Yeah.
I was actually giving a friend of mine shit today for driving an automatic, and he was like, "Yeah, well, it's a Mercedes." I was like, "Oh, all right then, whatever."
Yeah. You know, there was a time when I was a boy and up through a young man, automatic transmission was an option. You know, you had to opt for that. It's not the way they came. You know, most cars were stick shifts in those days. Many of them were what we called three on the tree, a three-speed manual on the column. But it'll be at the end, Toasted Network. But yeah, that's since changed a lot. And over here in America, you'd be hard pressed. About the only people that use stick shifts are young people and people with enough money to own expensive sports cars. So
I have a manual car.
I've drove quite a few manual. The oddest one I ever drove was it wasn't mine. It was a friend's car. It was a Mercedes with a manual transmission, but it was a 4-speed on the column, not on the floor, on the column, which was very strange. Let's see, there was a story that I wanted to read, but while I'm looking, did you?
Yeah, I've got a couple.
Okay, yeah, go ahead. While I'm looking,
I'll just pop the chat out, move it over there so I can see it whilst I read. Raising a transgender child. Don't you think autumn is happier? Of course, there's a picture of a young boy here with makeup on. Here we go again. Like many little girls, 9-year-old Autumn Norris loves dressing up and experimenting with makeup. She has identified as a girl for the past 2 years after telling her mother she felt she was in the wrong body. Autumn had just had a bath when she first spoke about these feelings. She wanted 2 towels, one for the hair and one for the body, like a woman. He came out of the bathroom with 2 towels, saying, "I've got something to tell you, Mum. I'm not Anthony. I'm not a boy. I'm a girl," says Fran Norris. At the time, I think I was lost for words as to what to say. I just gave a hug. I had trouble sleeping that night. I had that many things going on in my head of what to do from here. Ms. Norris from Shifnal in Shropshire believes it had been in Autumn's mind for a long time, and she had engaged in feminine role play to explore her identity. This kid's 9.
Exactly.
The kid is friggin' 9.
At that age, kids have not even come close to figuring out who they are yet, and it's not unusual. I mean, I'll guarantee you that at least 9 out of 10 people, when they were young boys, we're going to talk about the males now, dressed in mom's dress, or something like that at some point. You're still trying to figure it out, but that doesn't mean you're trans or even that you're gay. Oh, I wish these people would quit pushing their agenda on their children.
Yeah, it certainly sounds like it. If I continue reading, initially Autumn had 2 weeks during the Easter break where she dressed as a girl. I'm just going to read it as it is rather than changing the bloody pronouns. It was taking things one day at a time, letting her lead the way and discover in herself who she was, Ms. Norris says. After those 2 weeks, she was going to school as Anthony and changing and becoming Autumn at home. Eventually, they informed Autumn school. Really? Ms. Norris says it has been incredibly supportive, and although the children have had mixed reactions, that's because children can be cruel, believe it or not, teachers have tackled the issue head on. They will say things like, "Do you remember Anthony? Do you remember how upset he could get and how angry he could be? Don't you think Autumn is happier?" And explain Autumn is who she wants to be.
Well, of course, Autumn is happier. Autumn is getting a lot of attention. And that's what kids want.
Oh, my God. Apparently, we've had 2,519 referrals to the Gender Identity Development Service in 2017 and 18 for under 18s.
As a man who has raised 3 grown children, let me tell you what you do with this. You say, okay, fine, if that's what you want to do, but you will have to wait till you're old enough to make an informed decision. We're not going to forget about it, but you're going to have to wait till you're, just like I wouldn't let a 9-year-old get a tattoo.
Yep. I don't really want to read any more of this, to be honest with you, mate. Oh, wait a minute. Tavistock and Portman haven't gone too in-depth with Autumn and future processes and changes. They have talked about the use of hormone blockers. They better fucking not. But that's years into Autumn's future if she is still living as a girl.
Yeah. Tom of Golf City says, respond to her, Autumn, and you get cookies and hugs. Exactly. This kid's getting a lot of attention right now, and he's eating it up. Because that's what kids want. They want attention.
Yeah.
And if they can't get it by, hugs and everything, they'll act up. They'll act out. They'll do something outrageous, to get that attention. Got a donation. Hold on a second here. Thank you. Irate Bear.
It's not me, FYI.
Yeah, I know. That's why I was laughing. So, sucking penis doesn't make me gay. Glad we cleared that up. Thanks for the donation.
And yes, Terrapin, yeah, there was a trans woman that changed his mind after he went through with the treatment. Yeah,
exactly. It probably happens more often than we hear about.
That's the suicide rate is incredibly high.
Yeah. And that's a big step. Get your junk chopped off,
or turned inside out.
you're not going to reverse that surgery.
Yep.
You know,
have your friggin' womb cut out and your tits lopped off and your fucking fanny turned inside out, or have your balls and dick chopped off. Oh no.
yeah.
Oh dear. I have another piece of news if you'd like it.
Okay.
Czech man mauled to death by a lion he kept in his backyard.
I seen that. I seen what's that actor's name? James Woods retweeted that.
Oh, did he?
Yeah. It was something like the comment like, who knew?
There's a picture of the guy like stood by or crouched down behind his lion. That's well, I suppose if you are going to have exotic pets, there's always the danger of that happening.
Yeah.
I mean, that is a wild animal you got there. A man has been mauled to death by a lion caged at his family home in the eastern Czech Republic. Michael Plusek owned the 9-year-old big cat and another lioness for breeding, reportedly drawing concern from local residents. Yeah, if I was his friggin' neighbor, I'd be very concerned. Mr. Prasek's father found his body in the lion's cage and told local media it had been locked from the inside. Oh dear. The animals living in separate pens were shot dead by police called to the scene. Ah, they should have just
See you 6.
should have just knocked them out and then moved them to a friggin' zoo.
Yeah. Or preserve somewhere or something.
Yeah. They have to kill them. The animals living in separate pens were shot dead by police called to the scene. The police spokesperson told local media that the shootings were absolutely necessary for them to get to the man. So you couldn't like, tranquilize them and wait for them to go to sleep. Okay. Mr. Prasek, 33, bought the lion in 2011. just casually purchased himself a lion and the lioness last year and kept them both in homemade enclosures in his backyard in the village of Foreign. He had previously been denied planning permission to build the pens and was subsequently fined for illegal breeding. But his conflict with the authorities reached a stalemate after he refused to let anyone onto his property. A lack of alternative facilities in the Czech Republic or any evidence of animal cruelty also meant the lions could not be forcibly removed. Mr. Prasek made headlines last summer after a cyclist collided with the lioness as he was taking her for a walk on a friggin' leash.
Wow. And that's dangerous because, in a lion pride, it's the lionesses that do the hunting.
Yeah.
Look, folks, these are wild animals.
This is you can't treat a lion like a frigging dog.
No.
Because this like him and the local authorities seem to have treated it like a dog. Like when a dog bites you or mauls you, you put it down. But this is a lion. You should expect that from the lion.
He's only doing what a lion does.
Yeah. After intervention by the police, incident was deemed a traffic accident. A friggin' traffic accident?
What?
He rode his bike into a lioness and you deemed it a traffic accident? You don't see this kind of thing every day, do you?
No.
Today's incident will perhaps finally help to resolve this long-term problem.
If that's a traffic accident in the Czech Republic, didn't you say that's where it was, Czech?
Yeah, it's in the Czech Republic, yeah.
I want to know what their traffic's like. My gosh.
Yeah,
is running into lions a normal thing?
Oh my God. Okay. Fair enough. I mean, the guy looks like he deserved to be eaten by a lion,
He probably does. Tom of Gold City says, how do you lock a lion from the inside? I don't know how. And Functional mentioned something that I did mean to mention at the top of the stream. Oh man, and King Kong Bundy passed away. And if anybody has any memories of the 80s, they know that he was a huge figure in what was at the time WWF wrestling. Yeah. Rip to King Kong Bundy.
Oh, wow. Can I read this headline to you?
Sure.
Woman tells TripAdvisor she was raped by tour guide. TripAdvisor tells her to leave a negative review. I shouldn't laugh, but fucking hell. Oh, wow. That's a big fuck you from TripAdvisor then. Jesus.
Yeah.
Jesus, man. TripAdvisor has been accused of failing to protect its users after 2 women complained of being raped by staff of companies promoted on the travel information website. According to emails seen by The Guardian, one woman named only as Kay contacted TripAdvisor to complain of a sexual assault by a tour guide. Well, we should probably call the police, but it's a TripAdvisor, but okay. But by a tour guide, but was simply told to leave a bad review for the guide on the website. TripAdvisor refused to remove the company from its online listings. Well, it's
See you later, Kyler.
See that, Kyler, mate? Well, it's kind of up to the company to be held accountable for this, not TripAdvisor. Well, I mean,
leave a negative review.
What is I don't see what else TripAdvisor is supposed to do here.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I have all the sympathy in the world for, you know, the lady who was raped.
Right.
But it's not TripAdvisor that needs to be held accountable here. It's the company that the staff belong to that did the raping.
Yeah. Functional says the lead singer of The Prodigy committed suicide. Yeah, I'd heard that. I don't know who that is because it's not my genre of music. I'm not into it. But yeah, I had heard.
I'm a fire starter, a freaking fire starter. You ever heard that song?
No.
Okay.
Yeah. Was that the end of the story?
Well, no, it does carry on. She did contact the police initially, and she told the hotel about it as well. Well, it's up to the company to really, you know, be held accountable. And one way of holding a company to accountable, if you wanted to hold TripAdvisor accountable, of course, is by leaving a negative review. I promise you, if people see I got raped at this hotel, that hotel is not going to get as many customers now, you know. So I don't know how else you could hold TripAdvisor accountable, really.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, I don't know whether you could like maybe take a lawsuit to get them to remove the hotel, but
right,
I'm not sure whether that would hold up in court or whatever. But I don't know, mate. I don't know how you move forward with this one, but apparently Kay did submit a review. It was not published because it was not written in a first-person style. When Kay told the company she wanted to avoid being contacted by trolls, potentially including her attacker, TripAdvisor suggested she set up an anonymous account to post a review. One of the 5 other reviews shared with Kay was written by an 18-year-old woman who said she had her drink spiked and was raped while staying at a resort in Jamaica. The woman even said the hotel had launched a legal case against her to dispute the accusation, which was supported by a rape test at a local hospital. The resort in question still has a 4.5 stars out of 5 on the website, and TripAdvisor failed to add any warning or note for other travelers considering staying there. The woman's complaint is lost among the more 5,000 reviews. Well, I don't know how you get TripAdvisor to kind of work with you on this one, but
yeah,
I mean, it's in the media now, so maybe TripAdvisor would do something about it. Who knows?
Could be. I mean, you know, even though I'm not up with this whole listen, believe stuff, I have absolutely zero doubt that it does happen. You know, and when it does happen, there's got to be some kind of recourse. Let's make a negative review. Can you imagine how that review would go?
Yeah.
Love the trip, but the rape part was kind of off. Sorry.
Okay. I think it's time for Bloodwing's story time.
Well, I've got one more story. It's a quick one that I wanted to read, and then yeah, we'll get to story time. As soon as it loads here, man admits to sex with girl transported by his grandma and mom.
Man admits to sex with girl transported.
Yeah. Just listen to the story. A Missouri man has been sentenced for sex crimes involving a 13-year-old Alabama girl who was brought to Missouri by the man's mother and grandmother. 22-year-old Michael James Collins was sentenced Monday to 15 years in prison without parole. Investigators say Collins met the girl on a dating website in July 2017. At the time, he was a registered sex offender on probation for a previous conviction for sexual misconduct involving a child. He admitted in November that he paid his grandmother $400 to bring the girl from Alabama to Missouri. His mother was with his grandmother when they picked up the girl. Collins says he had sex with the girl in a van while the woman was taking him to and from work and the community supervision center in Fulton.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so this is a whole family of pedos.
Yeah, there's a lot going on there. Fuck.
Yeah, and had sex with her on his way to community supervision center, which
so
is
this was they met through a dating website.
Right.
She's 13.
Mm-hmm.
So she's using a dating website, presumably.
Yeah, which her parents should have made sure she wasn't involved in something like that. That's way too young to be on a dating website. But
you know how teenagers are with the internet and
exactly.
stuff. It's not exactly preventable. But then the pedo's mother helped him obtain the 13-year-old girl.
And his grandmother.
And grandmother.
Yep.
And then he had sex with her several times.
Yep.
Jesus Christ. Are they doing something about the bloody mother and the grandmother?
I don't know. The article didn't say. That was it. What I read was it was all there was to the article.
Being a party to this shit?
Yeah.
Jesus.
And I mean, he kind of looks the part in my opinion. But here, I'll see if I can manage this screen sharing part.
Good Lord, man. What the fuck? Because presumably the mother and the grandmother knew. Like,
yeah.
He's a scary looking dude as well.
Yeah.
Holy fuck. Cryptic donates to you, mate.
Oh, okay. Let me get back to that. Thank you, Cryptic. Wow, super chats, Redneck and Blackneck. If we ever want to change the name of the stream, that's a good title.
Yeah.
Redneck Blackneck stream. Yeah.
Blackneck Radio. It doesn't have the same bite to it that Redneck Radio does.
No. I like the title of my streams. I like it.
Yeah.
Reterrapin says he looks like a plucked chicken. Yeah, I noticed that. You can barely see his eyebrows.
Well, I mean, there is something you will have to do after the stream, Bloodwing.
What's that?
Well, because you're now monetized, means you can now be demonetized. And because you've used the word morons in your title, you're probably going to have to request a review after the stream's done.
Probably. Probably. Thank you, Batman, for the £2. That guy looks like a Nazi war criminal, right?
He does, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So, story time.
Hey.
It'll be a pretty quick story today. There was a time that I actually worked 3 jobs. This has been several years ago, but I worked at a toy warehouse during the day, would come home, go to sleep, get up, go work at FedEx for 3 or 4 hours at night. And then as soon as I got off there, I'd go and deliver the morning newspaper. The route that I had because nobody else wanted it. It's in an area of Indianapolis called Hawville, and it is gun and knife neighborhood.
I think you may have told me about this before.
Yeah, actually. I've told you about this one. It is gun and knife neighborhood. There was absolutely not unusual to hear automatic gunfire in that neighborhood. And I'm out at, 4 o'clock in the morning, 5 o'clock in the morning, delivering the newspaper. And I'm the wrong color because this is a highly black neighborhood, or at least at the time. Mm-hmm. So it's the middle of winter. So I've got my orange, what we called our pumpkin suit. FedEx used to have an insulated coverall. It covered every long sleeves, but it was a snowsuit, but it was really, really bright orange with the FedEx logo on it, which made you, so that you would stand out on the ramp. We don't want airplanes running over you and stuff. And so this is basically a walk route, but it was way too big to walk, in that the mailboxes were on the sides of the houses, not out on the street. So you couldn't just drive down the street shoving them in mailboxes like you see sometimes. I had to get in my truck, drive it up a few feet, get out, grab some newspapers, go put them on the porches, get back in my truck, and just, kind of leapfrog all the way through the neighborhood. I've got an armful of papers in this orange jumpsuit. I walk into this yard to deliver the paper, and a black guy jumps out of nowhere and sticks a 9mm handgun in my face. So what are you doing here?
Delivering papers.
Me being me, I looked down at the papers. I looked at my orange jumpsuit. I looked up at him and I said, "Gee, I don't know. I heard there was a party."
He decided to respond by being a sarcastic twat.
He looked. It's a wonder he didn't shoot me, but he looked at me. He didn't know what to do with that response. He puts the gun down and says, "You got to be more careful in this neighborhood." Well, what am I supposed to do? I'm just out here delivering papers. Announce myself as I go down, like the guy on the Monty Python, "Bring out your dad," delivering your papers. But yeah, that's my story for today.
There you go. Man's had more guns put in his face than I've had hot dinners.
I know, right? It's a wonder I've never been shot. I have been shot at, but I've never been actually shot. Stabbed once, but
how did that go?
You're
still here.
It was a superficial wound. Not from lack of trying on the other person. It was at a high school football game or basketball game, for Pete's sake, but it was with our rival school, and that often turned pretty nasty. Yeah. Either no one's talking, or they've turned off my chat, which they didn't turn it off because you posted. So yeah. I don't. Everybody went quiet. I think that story stunned them. Like,
maybe.
Wow.
Either that or YouTube's broken.
That's possible. But we're going to open it up to questions. Nope.
Respect for story time, Bear.
Yeah. Now it is question time. Toasted, from a scale from 1 to 10, how do you rate Bry Larson, and why is Trump very popular with the redneck community? Because most rednecks tend to vote red. They're conservative. In most areas of the country, there are areas in the South where it's blue, but they're few and far between. Bry Larson, personally, I don't really know that much about her, other than that she runs her mouth a lot about it, a lot of SJW stuff, instead of letting her movie talk for itself. So yeah, that's my opinion. Batman tells a story from when you were in the War of Independence. I'm not that old. The Civil War, however, but not the. No. Functional says he's playing art. News is depressing. Which, by the way, I've got a new Argy, a bird that you would like. Yes, that you would like. He's all like red and yellow with a blue patch on his head, all multicolors. He's fabulous. He's just very. You would have said, "I'm a fairy."
Brick Gamer Girl's calling me a weeb. I finished the first Overlord light novel today, so it's a proper book, like, you know. I've placed it on my shelf now, so and I've ordered the second and third now.
Yeah,
I think it's like 12 of them, I think, in total.
Functional, I'll probably be in the server a little bit later. Might take me a nap first, but yeah. Tom of Gulf City. I've told one before. The pizza story was a LSD based story. Questions, guys. Questions. Come on, you know you got some. No, Toasted. I do not. I have in times past, but I do not. No, I don't own a Confederate flag. I tell you what, I also used to own was an Israeli flag, and that would really trigger the libs right now.
It also pissed the alt-right off as well.
Yeah. Did I ever get to meet Custer Simius and tell him it was a bad idea to fight the end? No, but I would have. Like, you might want to rethink this. Jack Gunsky wants to know what's the best kind of pizza. I like my pizza with everything on it. Mushrooms, black olives, everything. Well, not anchovies, but everything else. If it's in the kitchen, throw it at it.
Yes, I'm aware that Batman called me a brony. I ignore a lot of what Batman has to say.
Right.
Brett.
Toasted again. How do you rate Bry Larson from 1 to 10? I honestly, Guy, I don't know. She's an attractive young lady, if that's what you're talking about. But and yes, it is just a myth that conservative rednecks are racist. Are there racist rednecks? Well, sure there are. I have racists within my own family, who I'm often arguing with.
Mm-hmm. There's a good question for you, Bloodwing, but you might be here all night.
What's that?
What's your musical tastes?
Oh yeah. First and foremost, I'm a headbanger. I love rock and roll. I love hard rock and roll, heavy metal, but I also enjoy classical music. Tchaikovsky's my favorite. I also greatly enjoy bluegrass music. I love big band music, you know, like Tommy Dorsey and all those guys. I have a very wide and varied taste in music, like just about everything except for hip hop. I just and I've tried to like it, but I just can't.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like Motown, Dick Tracy. Love old school funk, and I'm talking like Parliament, Funkadelic, you know, Lakeside. Favorite Danny Kaye movie? Oh my gosh, I can't remember them. I do like Danny Kaye, but I can't remember any of the movies he was in. If you hadn't asked me, I could have told you.
Jack Gunsky is talking to me about an anime that he suggested to me called The Rising of the Shield Hero, Bloodwing. And in the first episode, like these 4 lads from like different alternate realities get sucked into presumably books. The main protagonist gets sucked into a book, and they all find themselves in a game, basically like a fantasy world, much like how Overlord is, much how Sword Art Online is, like a dive MMO RPG kind of thing. And they Me Too the fucking protagonist in the first episode.
Yeah.
With false rape accusations. And I was like, oh, fuck, it made me so mad.
Toasted, I went through a country phase back in the 80s, but it didn't last long. Today's country just all sounds the same to me. I'm not a big fan. Boy bands, Deck Trans. No, not a big fan of boy bands or today's pop music. Way too much auto tune going on today. You know, can't stand it. Any kind of electronic music, about as close to electronic music that I can get to was an old German band called Kraftwerk. You may have heard of. I did enjoy some of their stuff.
I know you're not a anime person.
No. Dom O'Leary says pizza, tacos, or burgers? Hamburgers, hands down. Give me a cheeseburger.
I like a cheeseburger.
Mm-hmm.
I prefer the ones that are made by proper working class people in a burger van, where they've been cooked on the grill. They've cooked the onions there in front of you, and they slaps it all together. Mwah, mwah. Gorgeous.
One more question, then we're at the end of it. Toasted says, is it a myth that rednecks marry their cousins? Not trying to be racist. I love rednecks. No, that is not a myth. In some areas they do. And in fact, I had an uncle and aunt that were actually third cousins to each other. My aunt never had to change her name. Jazz music is good. I like some jazz music. And with that, it is at the end of the stream. We've done our 2 hours. Mm-hmm. Thank you guys for showing up and for the donations. Thank you, Bear, as always. Anything you want to share?
Yeah, I put out a new video on the main channel yesterday, doing like a kind of like response to David Lammy. He's a black racist politician here in the UK, basically complaining about charity to Africa. If you want to know any more, check that out, and let me know what you thought in the comment section. Don't step on the carpet.
There you go.
If you knock it, you'll knock my phone off charge. You have no idea how long it took. Sorry. Be with you in a second, woman.
So again, thanks everybody for coming out and for the donations. And as always, get out of my yard.
See you later, guys.